What's up, guys? I hope you're well. Today we're checking out the most dominant F1 car ever. Let's get into it, shall we?
Why was the McLaren MP44 the most dominant car of all time? The McLaren MP44 is quite simply the greatest car in the history of Grand Prix racing.
Idea.
With two incredibly quick drivers behind the wheel going by the names of Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost, the 1988 Formula One season was completely and utterly dominated by McLaren Honda. Yes, you heard that right. Honda was actually good back in the 80s. Designed by Gordon Murray and Steve Nichols, it secured 15 wins out of the 16 race season. The amount of criticism flown around after Red Bull supposedly dominated F1 in early 2010. Imagine what the 1988 season would get today. However, it was a truly iconic year which kick-started one of the most intense rivalries the sport has ever seen. Senna versus Prost. Two drivers that would do anything to win with a car that was untouchable. But why was it untouchable? What made it such an incredible car? We spoke to chief designer Gordon Murray to dive into their secrets.
Why is this car in particular, why was it so successful?
Well, I think the first thing you have to recognise is whatever car you're talking about, whatever success rate, you need 5 things to win a championship. You need the right chassis, the right driver, the right tyre choice, the right motor, and the right strategy and team. If you have one of those missing, it's difficult to win a race, let alone a season.
Yep.
And
True.
for this season, we had Prost and Senna.
Yep.
Nice.
So that was pretty good. That was
Not a
ticking the
bad
box.
driver lineup.
We had, I had a very good relationship with Osamu Goto, who was the engine designer for Honda, and they produced a cracking little V6 1.5 litre turbo. So we had that. The tyres weren't so much of a factor because we were all pretty much on the same tyres for that particular year. The team was very good. And then finally, when it came down to the car, I had a pretty clean sheet of paper when I first came to McLaren, and it came directly from the last Brabham I did, which was the BD55. That car was ultra radical because I laid the engine and the driver down very flat, and we had a massive increase in aerodynamic performance, about 15%. Which, usually if you got 2 or 3%, you had a public holiday.
Yeah.
So we had 15%, and sure enough, the first test we went to, I think we were a second and a half quicker than anybody else. So we knew, again. We also knew from the wind tunnel that it was going to be good. The aerodynamic efficiency, that's lift over drag, was much better, and the downforce was pretty good. It uses the same pull rod front suspension that I first used on the Brabham Alpha BD48, and it just all came together.
So it was more of a combination of the 5 factors you said.
It's exactly that combination, yeah.
Good
The other
looking car,
radical thing
too.
on the car, which could have let us down, is the transmission, because in
Legendary
lowering
car.
the engine that much, the normal split between the 2 gear shafts in the gearbox meant the drive shafts were completely the wrong angle. At the last minute, brand new gearbox, and that's the one thing I thought that could let us down, but actually it ran perfectly
The
the
reliability
whole
was
season.
amazing,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Apart from the Italian Grand Prix.
Yeah, and that was really, I mean, that was a spark plug failure. It's a shame we didn't get the full score.
Yeah,
Right.
15 out of 16, you would have taken that, I'm sure, going into the season.
Definitely,
the first
yeah.
project, the drivers that you had at the time, obviously you said they're an amazing lineup. How much sort of impact did they have in the sort of development of the car and sort of shaping the direction?
In the development of the car, nothing at all.
Nothing, okay.
Because we were developing for a brand new engine, changing from the TAG Porsche engine to this. So we just had our heads down in designing a brand new car, so we didn't involve them at all. We did a lot of engine testing with the drivers, so if they had any influence at all, it was over the drivability of the motor, because we put one of these
Makes
motors
sense.
in last year's
Makes a lot of
chassis.
sense.
So did they know when they first got in the car and first drove
Yeah,
it
yeah.
that this was going to
No,
be
it was dynamite from day one. Yeah.
Did you think that potentially the other teams were maybe sandbagging in testing, or did you think, no, we're actually...
No, we knew. I mean, as soon as I saw the wind tunnel results, I knew we were going to be really quick. And it was the same sort of efficiency gain we got with the Brabham aerodynamically. So it was what I was expecting.
So where does that rank?
This is
one
this is in my top 3 for
Top
sure.
three, top
yeah,
three.
I would say top 3. I think this one, the 44, and the Brabham BD52, which was the pit stop, the Arrow car, the pit stop. Those 3, I would say.
To see it in the flesh is amazing. How many of these models exist in...
I'm just trying to think. I think we built about 6 of these in total.
With a 1.6 litre V6 turbo engine producing somewhere around the region of 700 brake horsepower, the MP44 was unstoppable. Had it not been for a spark plug failure for Prost or a crash for Senna whilst leading the Italian Grand Prix 2 laps from the end, we would have seen the first and only golden season in Formula One. Incredibly, McLaren Honda scored triple the amount of points than Ferrari, who finished second in the constructors' standings that year, whereas unfortunately it seems to be the other way around these days. You can't disagree with
Yep.
the statistics. This is the most dominant car of all time in terms of win percentage, but the Mercedes has come very close with 19 out of 21 wins in 2016. Do you think there was a car that dominated more than the MP44? Let us know in the comments section below.
Yeah, very interesting, very cool. Wow, that car, that's just a, legendary car. Like every time you see that red and white Marlboro car, you know that's dominance right there. Very cool video, very interesting. That's awesome that I was able to talk to the designer of the car and get some information on it. With that, I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Stay safe and don't forget to wash your hands. Bye.